under a food truck by the sedan. Julie Walker has the story.
The woman who was trapped under the food truck in Midtown Manhattan and the 6 other people were taken to hospitals and were in stable condition. The vehicle's driver and a police officer also were taken to hospitals. The crash happened less than 2 hours after New Year's Eve revelers packed into Times Square about a dozen blocks north. Police officers were responding to a possible crime near Penn Station and were trying to intervene in a dispute in a vehicle when the driver struck multiple vehicles before speeding off on a sidewalk and hitting the food truck. The driver was caught several blocks away. Julie Walker, New York.
And the Rose Parade in Pasadena, California has drawn hundreds of thousands of spectators on New Year's Day.
Crowds of people watched as floats, marching bands, and equestrian units made their way on the 2-hour route. While some people were seeing the parade for the first time, others, including this woman, were following tradition.
This is my 56th parade.
Is it still just as exciting as the first one?
Well, I don't remember the first one. I was 4 months old.
Okay, that's fair. This year's parade was kicked off by a musical performance that included David Archuleta and Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child. Blake Trolley, ABC News, Pasadena.
Health Canada has recalled a brand of hypoallergenic infant formula. It's over concerns the Enfamil brand Nutramigen A+ LGG hypoallergenic formula may be contaminated with bacteria. The bacteria can cause serious or fatal bloodstream and central nervous system infections, and has also been associated with severe intestinal infection and blood poisoning, especially in newborns. Health Canada says there have been no reported illnesses associated with the formula, but batches with an expiry date of January 1st, 2025 should be thrown out. Your business is next.
I'm Ari Rabinovich. With the artificial intelligence boom this year and surging demand for processor chips to support the industry, more and more companies are embracing the possibilities it could mean. A new survey by Robert Half Canada shows younger workers may be more optimistic than their older peers. Michael French is National Director at Robert Half Canada.
A big cohort, about 32% said they didn't think it was going to impact them. And part of me is thinking, where have you been? It's one of the hottest things talked about. 9 months ago, we weren't even talking about ChatGPT or generative AI, and now it's one of the most common skills on every job posting out there. So within 9 months, how is this new skill popping up in every job posting we see online?
With new technology in the workplace comes concerns about job security.
I don't think there's going to be a massive job loss here. I think it's going to change how some jobs are done. There will be some very junior roles that do disappear, but as those roles disappear, there will be higher value roles created, higher the value chain or higher the org chart, that now impact how companies deploy AI and how companies use AI. And those are the roles where you can have a really great career and make us maybe very successful.
With a little research and an open human mind, artificial intelligence could be just what the labor force needs.
Even though it's scary, I encourage you to embrace the change, take some classes. Many times you find these things can be learned on your own. Most people are learning it sort of by going to different sites and seeing how they work. That's a great way to sort of get your feet wet. Also, many companies now, there's a lot of talk about how do we use it, are we going to use it, parameters around it. So there's a whole privacy aspect of it. So that sort of impacts the legal community. But definitely don't be afraid of it and don't shy away with it. People who lean into it will be very successful.
Michael French is at Robert Half Canada. And at the City News Business Center, I'm Ari Rabinovich.
For breaking news, traffic, and weather.
This is City News 680. Everywhere.
At Trillium Health Partners, we're ready to see you, not just as a patient, but as a person who needs innovative care with a human touch, a person with a life, with hopes, and with fears. At Trillium Health Partners, we'll see the whole you, our nurses, our doctors, and our staff. Because when we care for the whole person, our whole community gets stronger. Trillium Health Partners, we see you. Learn more at weseeyou.ca.
locations from December 21st to January 10th and save up to 70% off on organic groceries, health supplements, natural beauty, sports nutrition, and more. Healthy Points members receive 2,000 points, a $20 value when you spend $200 or more before tax, or 1,000 points, which is a $10 value when you spend $150 or more before tax. December 21st to January 10th. Visit Healthy Planet, your one-stop health shop with everyday value.
Watch, listen, connect.
Whenever and wherever you are.
This
Is City News 680.
everywhere.
Right now, downtown Toronto, a mostly cloudy sky at -1 and a wind chill reading of -6. Over in Brampton, -2 and a wind chill reading of -, there with a partly cloudy sky, so bundle up. And over at Pearson, -2 also with a wind chill reading of -9. City News 680 is CFTR AM Toronto. The News Watch never stops. Watch, listen, connect at citynews.ca. Amber LeBlanc is our news director, and at the sound of the double tones, it's 6:30.
Toronto's number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is City News 680 everywhere.
Good evening, it's Monday, January 1st. Happy New Year. I'm Maria Cassane. Here's what's making news right now. At least 4 people are dead in Japan following a massive earthquake, and it's over 30 aftershocks. Tsunami warnings are now in place. A number of business closures remain in place for New Year's Day today, but some malls are still open and operating on reduced hours. Details ahead. An 81-year-old pedestrian has died after he was struck by a vehicle near Dufferin and College last week. And the new year means new laws across the province, including new regulations for childcare and tow truck drivers.
The lone game on the NHL scoreboard, the Winter Classic, is in the books. And the Raptors take on Cleveland. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, grocery prices shot through the roof in 2023, but there may be a pleasant surprise on that front in the new year. Details just ahead.
City News Time 6:31, time for traffic and weather together on the one. We'll head to the traffic center with Asher Ross.
Well, this report is brought to you by Hakeem Optical, so not a whole lot happening out there on the major routes. We have an update now from Toronto Transportation that Avenue Road is still closed over the 401 because of that earlier demonstration, which is interesting because the demonstration itself is wrapped up according to our reporters on scene, but you still cannot exit onto Avenue Road from the east or westbound 401, and the north and southbound Avenue ramps to the eastbound 401 are closed, and the northbound Avenue ramp to the westbound 401 still shut down. According to MTO, you can still get on if you're headed southbound from Bideford to get onto the westbound 401 if you're in this area, and that is not the case. Let me know at star 680. But yeah, other than that, the major routes are moving pretty well. Just one volume delay out in Durham region on the westbound 401. It's slow from west of Brock Street towards Salem. It's just residual volume from an earlier problem around Brock Street that has long since cleared. Eastbound 401 is moving up to speed, so is the 404 GDP combination. No slowdowns on the QAW Gardner. The 427 looks good near Pearson Airport in both directions. And the 410 looks good both ways as well. On city streets, other than that Avenue Road issue, still have word of this power outage in the East End, and we're told that the traffic lights are out at Coxwell and Eastern and at Coxwell and Queen. Be sure to treat those intersections as four-way stops and yield to the driver to your right. Save lots of money at Hakeem Optical's Boxing Day sale. Get 70% off Hakeem designer frames and 30% off Hakeem lenses. Your eyes can have it all at Hakeem Optical. With the forecast, meteorologist Carl Lamb.
Sure was a cloudy start to 2024 across the GTA, and temperatures tonight will drop down to an overnight low of -4. Still plenty of cloud cover lingering around. For tomorrow, partly sunny and 2 degrees, and we will have that southwesterly wind around 20 kilometers per hour. Could be pretty gusty, especially through the morning too, and then we'll drop down to an overnight low of 0 on Tuesday night. Tonight's overnight low is -4.
Right now, downtown Toronto, a mostly cloudy sky at -1 and a wind chill reading of -6. City News Time 6:33. Breaking news from Japan, where at least 4 people are confirmed dead in a New Year's Day earthquake. 2 people are also reported to be seriously injured. Officials are working to rescue people trapped in buildings. CNN's Mark Stewart has more.
As far as resources, the fact that so many roads are damaged, even some of the airports are having challenges, it's going to be difficult in getting people and materials into these damaged areas. So far, 1,000 members of the military force, the SDS, the Special Defense Force as it's known in Japan, have been activated. However, another 8,500 are on standby. In addition, a lot of people right now in Japan, especially this northwest portion where the quake hit most intensely, they have been stranded. They can't go home. So many people are spending the evenings in shelters, and according to government officials, 21 schools have now been converted into evacuation centers. Unfortunately, the risk as we move in the hours ahead is not going away. The Weather Service in Japan is warning that we could see aftershocks for at least 3 days.
Tsunami advisories remain in place following the massive 7.5 magnitude earthquake in the western coast of the country. Japan's public broadcaster is reporting nearly 1,400